Shazam! I went and saw Shazam! And I'm glad that I did. Now, mind you, I'm going to say some spoilers in this video. However, the movie has been out for a few weeks, and it shouldn't really affect you. You should have seen it by now, but I might as well toss it out there. In case you haven't seen it, go and see it. Now, Shazam is part of the DC universe. Usually you have to be a hardcore fan to really understand it. This was not one of those movies. You could go in and see it without really knowing a backstory, because that's me. Like, I don't read the comics. I'm not a true hardcore fan. I do enjoy these style of movies. I'm a little bit more of a Marvel fan than a DC fan, but that's okay. This movie really brings DC back on track, and I'll get into that later on. Basic plot of this movie, spoilers, mind you, again, is this teenager named Billy. He's really got an attitude problem. He is a foster kid, and I do understand that. His mom pretty much left him on purpose because she didn't think that she could provide him with a good enough life. And so we find that out later on in the movie. But he's a foster kid, and he's like running away constantly, causing problems, and, you know, just being a real pissant. And he comes across this wizard that needs to transfer his power over before he dies. Because if he doesn't, then this whole, like, you know, magic thing is just going to end. So he needs to transfer his power over to someone that has good intentions and a pure heart. And I guess that's Billy. So he comes with the superpower of anytime he says Shazam, he turns into an adult, but his mind is still a child, a teenager, but he turns into an adult superhero. And the adult version is played by Zachary Levi. I loved Zachary Levi in this role. Now, I have not seen him in a lot of things. He's been around for a little bit though, but let me tell you, this role is putting him on the map. Definitely. Like, the way it's very reminiscent of Tom Hanks in the movie Big, and this is very reminiscent of the movie Big because, you know, boy to a man. But just like the childlike thoughts in his head and the way he thinks like a teenager really came across, had some very funny moments. I cannot picture anyone else playing this role. Perfect casting, Zachary Levi in this role. I cannot imagine anybody else. Loved him. Love Zachary Levi. Okay, got that out of the way. So the progression of the movie, the main villain, I forget his name. I know he's played by Mark Strong, I think his name is. I don't know of any other movies that he's been in. However, it was very one-dimensional, like, villain behavior. Like, we're supposed to believe because he was a young kid, something happened to him, and he's held a grudge for, like, 30 years or something. It was very... I don't know if that was that believable or not. I don't know. Anyone else tell me, comment down below. Let me know your thoughts. But, I mean, his flying scenes were really cool. And being like the super villain was really cool. But the backstory was kind of like, I mean, it's like, get over it. It's been like 25, 30 years. Buck up, But he was, I guess a strong villain. I don't know. I mean, this is the origin story of Shazam. So maybe they're not going like super hardcore with it. I don't know. But what I really enjoyed was the foster family in this film. Billy gets placed in a new foster home, and I forget the actor's name, but the kid that played Freddy, he's handicapped. He has his little crutch. He has great one-liners. My only complaint with him is that sometimes I think he spoke the lines too quickly and too fast, and I wasn't really understanding what he was saying sometimes. So I felt like those were missed moments and missed opportunities for me to hear something funny, because he was having a lot of those funny moments. But other than that, the chemistry between the two kids was great, and his chemistry with Zachary Levi was really good. I enjoyed those scenes when those two were together and they were figuring that whole montage of them figuring out what his superpowers were, and, you know, YouTube, you know, bringing it into the now of, you know, everyone puts everything on YouTube. Hello. And so having that moment, I enjoyed that very, very much. The movie kind of felt a little bit long and a little bit stretched, but I understand why, because this is the first movie of Shazam. This is the origin story. So of course we need like a little bit longer to like maybe draw it out, a little bit, you know, longer pace to explain things a little bit. I didn't like how we constantly went to, oh, we're going to, you know, make money by, you know, showing off the superpowers, and we're charging people for photographs. Like, a lot of that could have been cut out. I mean, leave it to one scene and that's it. Like, we get it. I don't know if they were doing it because this is a movie maybe targeted more towards kids, so that's why they were doing it. I don't know. But there were some things that, like that I felt were not necessary. We could have left those things out. As far as the foster family goes, my favorite foster kid was Darla, the little girl. I loved her. She was amazing. She was so funny. But it was just enough. She wasn't overacting. She was perfect, and she was so cute. I just loved her. She had yummy moments in this movie. It was fantastic. My least favorite, probably Mary. I mean, there just wasn't anything to her. She was very dull. She only had about like one scene where she seemed to be important. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts about this. Comment down below. Let's see, what else? Great moments. When they were, when Shazam and the villain were like far apart from each other and they were having a hard time hearing, I was dying. My mom and I, mom went with me. We were dying laughing. That was so hilarious. We loved that part. Like I said, the movie seemed a little bit long. I wish they had more action scenes with Zachary Levi, because every time Zachary Levi was on screen, the movie just went up so much when he was on screen. And I wanted more moments. I wanted him to have like a kick-ass fight scene. And I feel like we didn't really get that. I don't know if they're saving it for the next movie, because he is just getting acquainted with his superpowers. He doesn't really know the amount of power he has yet. So maybe that's why. But I just wish we had more of a scene where he was like, yeah, where you're like rooting for that person, you know, like that moment where your entire body just shakes and vibrates and you know that, yes, this kick-ass scene is going to happen. Never really got that, you know? And the whole family involved at the end, I'm not going to say anything about that because I don't want to super spoil it for anybody, but the family gets more involved. I'm not sure how I feel about that. I feel like maybe that should have been saved for the next movie. I kind of wanted this movie to be all about Shazam, because it is about Shazam. It's his name, you know, like this is his origin story. And so I felt the movie should have been more focused on just the one main character. But overall, it was a great movie to go and see. Maybe ran a little bit long, but with Zachary Levi and the little kid that plays Freddy, I feel so bad that I can't remember his name, but it's all worth it in the end because they had great chemistry. Zachary Levi steals this movie, and I totally recommend that you see it. On the love it or hate it scale, highly liked it. I highly liked it because this movie did have some flaws. I wasn't too thrilled with the villain. I feel like his backstory could have been a little bit more, but overall, this was a highly enjoyable film, and I cannot wait to see part 2. All right, so I'm excited about Avengers Endgame. I cannot wait. I'm going to see it tomorrow night. I'm going to a late showing. I will definitely have my review on here, non-spoiler, for anybody that has not seen it. But get ready, guys. I am hearing great things. All the reviews on YouTube so far have been fantastic, and I'm excited. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you like what I say and enjoy what I do.